Hey ho everybody, this is episode 26. We'll be right back. I'm Tony Raston, writer, creator, star, etc. yada yada yada. This is the season 2 finale. And there's a long story as to why this is the season 2 finale, because this was originally supposed to be the mid-season premiere. And I'll get into that story later, so we gotta discuss a little bit about the origin of this episode. This episode, I began work on it during the production of Hanging Out at Walt Disney World. That's where we got the story production. The idea was of Tony going to a fancy party, and while at this fancy party he comes across, a new character we were going to introduce named Wendy, and who we'd find out also at the end of the season was supposed to be anonymous. But the story did not work out, and what we ended up doing was we did this concept, and that was the original idea, but we did this concept instead of, let's do Tony getting ready to go for a party and he gets stuck in the closet. And no, we're not meaning gay terms. We're meaning just actually he literally gets locked into like a storage closet. So, yeah. But the idea to make this a commercials episode 2, I guess many people could say is nostalgia critic-like, but I don't see the resemblance. This is also one of the rare times when we credited the animation studio, TVC Animation, it's really a subsidiary of TVC Studios. Yes, we have subsidiaries. That's where O Pictures comes in, and our main head TVC Studios, which we do the distribution as well. And then we have an animation house, which is right now working on James and Rocco, and it's basically just me. So. This commercial we had shown in the Nintendo episode, so it was nice to bring this one back. I'm trying to think of... I'm trying to think of another interesting story. I guess I could talk about the post-production on Hanging Out at Walt Disney World, which was right around the time of this. So, Hanging Out at Walt Disney World we did it as a 5-part, which is technically a 4-part episode saga that was supposed to be in between the first half of Rants and Review Season 2 and the second half. And then what we ended up doing was, because of all the issues we ended up having, Hanging Out at Walt Disney World ended up airing after this episode, which kind of is sad. No, we were just editing that up while we were filming this. And a few other things I should bring up. In the beginning, the ukulele I have is from Hanging Out at Walt Disney World. I actually got that during the course of making the episodes. And the letter I also read, which was supposedly the invitation, was actually my college acceptance letter. I got accepted in the ACC that year, and I'm still currently there. Okay, so this commercial, it's interesting making the skit for this one. I'm doing all the voices. Now, voiceover for me is something I ended up doing, I wouldn't say fairly, I would say fairly early on in the fashion of TVC Studios when we started making it. Voiceover was one of the main components that we wanted to do, and something that I ended up getting into a lot. Currently, I have done, for all the TVC production products, I've done the voices for Damien, Devil, James, Rocco, and I would say Scratch, because it's not really an animated show, but I did it as like a test to see what type of characters I want to have. I usually do like a Scratch Jason voice and a Scratch Everett voice. But the funny thing is about voiceover is when I do the voice, when I do a voice, it's it's generally hard. Like right now I kind of have a cold, so if I were to do any voice, it would kind of not sound right. So, but if I didn't have this cold, it would sound somewhat good. Impressions I've done, though, over the years, and I could tell a funny story. When I was in high school, I had to give a presentation on a president we chose to do a report on, and I did Bill Clinton. And I thought what would be funny is if I did the report as Bill Clinton. So I'm reading off these cue cards, and whenever it says Bill, was a great guy, I have to go, I was a great guy. I was kind of awesome. And no one, I don't know how to describe this, but I feel your pain. I feel your pain. And so, and that brings up like another interesting topic, like doing imitations. Like, there are really some good ones out there. Like, what I can do is, it's an interesting range what I can do, because the highest I can go is Catman, and I'm like, yeah man, and I'm like, sure Cat, I'm going home. And and the lowest I can go is a Yogi Bear, hey. But it's funny because I've also done like when I often think about, oh, it'd be funny to have this character say that, I would go like, okay, if it's George W. Bush, I gotta go, okay, remember, I gotta get myself the evildoers. And then when it's HW, I gotta go, now son, listen up, you're in for a world of hurt. And if it's Barack Obama, it's like, I feel your pain, and don't get this twisted, but I can understand where you're coming from. I feel your resent, and the American people will be right behind you, backing up and supporting you. So, but it's one of those rare talents, and I can pull it off. Like when I do like a British accent, I used to do this a lot as a kid, and I still kind of do it now. Like if I do like a small snippet of a British accent, I'll go like, hello, how you doing? Hello, 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 hello. And then when I have to go Australian, I'm kind of like this. I'm like, oi, oi, Mr. Prime Minister, how about you suck this? I just say, like, for voice actor, like, the influence I've always had was, it was kind of like Mel Blanc and mostly Billy West. And I know that's kind of odd, but it was for me. It's mostly Billy West. Billy West is my, is kind of like the person I look up to when it comes to, like, doing voices. 'Cause, he can do Bugs Bunny pretty well, Doc. And, he says that Michael Jordan is the closest thing he ever had until God. It's not the worst. I'm sorry, I'm kind of slipping up here. I have no real clues what else to say. But yeah, Billy is good at doing voiceover. Like, he could do, when he replaced Casey Kasem, I had no idea that was him. I'll actually be surprised. And when he does Stimpy, he's like, oh joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. And, and when he does Ren, he says he wants to kill me. So, we should probably get back to the episode here. Not so fast! Roger Klotz here. Shut up, Roger. Yeah. Okay, so this toy right here. When I came across this commercial, I was like, huh. And then when I saw who made it, I was like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there literally thinking to myself, they make it much better as a toy company than a game publisher. What the fuck is going on here? And I'm just so freaking surprised at, what I just saw. And so I actually had to backtrack and watch that commercial again and again because I was so deluded and shocked. Okay, so we should probably get to the story before I lose track. So the story was, we did the episode, we edited it, we, did the final mix and stuff, we uploaded it. Here's what happened. And the problem was, when we uploaded it to Facebook, the audio would be the only thing that would show up. There'd be no visual. So all you could do is hear the episode, you couldn't see the episode. The same thing happened when we did Hanging Out at Walt Disney World first time. So because of this, we actually had to hold off doing the episode, releasing it. So this resulted in us actually, I'm trying to think, we waited until September, late September, and what we did by that point is we released Hanging Out Walt Disney World first. We released the first episode, and then we released this episode. Then after that, we focused on Hanging Out Walt Disney World. And then after that, we uploaded the episodes to YouTube. And again, this kind of leads us into the story of the anime episode and how that became the band episode. This one, I'm kind of surprised hasn't been either, you know, a band episode. But I don't know. I don't want to cause any trouble with anyone, so to anyone out there listening, please don't ban this video. Please don't flag it. Please don't content ID it. Please, I'm begging you. But with that said, this is Tony Reston. Oh, I should probably talk about Season 3. That's right, we're doing Season 3 as according to the trailer, and no, it'll not be 14 episodes, and it will not be 8. We're actually going to be doing 4 now. And the reason we're doing 4 is 2 reasons. 1, economic reasons. We won't have enough funding to do 8. And 2, I won't have enough time. Right now, we're actually, the day I'm recording this, I'm actually 2 weeks away from heading off to New York City to go pitch James and Rocco. And that's almost done, by the way, the project itself. So, and the reason I bring this up is because we're planning on doing an episode in New York City. We're going to do an episode of Rants and Reviews taking place in New York. And it's mainly going to be Tony meeting a higher form of life, let's say. And the whole 4th season, it's not the 4th, I mean the 3rd. The whole 3rd season itself is going to be interesting because we're doing this 4-episode kind of arc. It's not really a real arc, but it will tie in like this episode, the anime episode, and like everything that's going to happen in the Season 3 premiere, which you guys will see in the beginning of March. So we're doing that. We're working on James and Rocco. We're working on Time Box King still. We're kind of working on co-ed. We just kind of shelved it a little bit. But it's really because our main focus right now is on James and Rocco. If James and Rocco is the successor to Damien is Devil, then we'll be in the clear. If it is not, then, well, we're in for kind of an awkward world. So, okay, this is Tony Raston signing out, saying thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in Season 3, coming in March.